Who breaks first?
You, apparently.
It's always me, to be honest.
I love that. No one can handle silence. It's fine.
Hi, everyone. We are Englewood After Dark. Welcome to our little retrospective on our completed season and also a look at our current season. My name's Hannah. I'm your producer slash writer slash actor slash jack of all trades. And we have here with us...
My name is Dennis, and I am the director slash writer slash actor slash anything Hannah tells me to do.
And hello, I'm Alex, and I make inhuman noises, which are special effects and editing. I do the things.
Also known as our sound cryptid.
Mhm.
Well, he does sound.
Mm-hmm. My ways are unknowable and mysterious. I'm here to tell you all about them. Ignore that part.
For sure. So yeah, bear with us for the next hour-ish. I don't think it's quite an hour, but bear with us for the next period of time because we're going to take you on a magical mystery tour known as us explaining how we got here, who we are, and what else might suddenly start happening. What else? Oh my gosh. Suddenly start happening. Sorry about that.
Oh no.
So yeah. I apologize. Yeah, no, I just wanted to open the chat, not the whole stream. But it opening just the chat, it requires you to first open the stream.
Yeah.
Terrible mistake.
But yeah, for those of you who are joining us and who don't know anything about Englewood, we are a horror audio drama with motifs of dark academia and a little dark comedy as well. And we're going to give you, before we begin talking about everything, a little teaser trailer that we made way back when for our season 2 premiere, so that you can have a little taste of some of our music and one of our voice actors just before we get started. So I'm going to press go.
You know what they say about getting your answers? You might not like them.
Yeah, that was a little teaser trailer back in the day before we released season 2. Some beautiful music by Athen there and our voice actor Sparrow Delgado. But yeah, so we're going to begin by talking about our ideas because lots of the time you see the I want to start a podcast. What do I do? And our answer to that when we were starting Englewood was, what if the three of us combined our brains and picked our ideas apart and chose the bits we liked the best and combined those into Englewood. And so that's what we did. We are also, the three of us, best friends. I got married last year and Dennis and Alex were there with me. And it's become, as you can see by these screenshots, it's become a whole thing. We have been working together now for a very long time. And basically the genesis was 3 separate ideas, and now we have combined them. We have Voltroned them together. We often refer to ourselves as 3 bisexuals in a trench coat because we do operate that way. Am I the head if we're 3 bisexuals in a trench coat?
You're the head,
Oh,
yeah.
absolutely, you are the head. What are you talking
I'm the
about?
head,
We
gotcha.
wouldn't be able to function
Who's-
if either of us were the head.
I'm on the
tummy
bottom,
and who are
and
the legs?
Dennis is controlling the hands, and I'm just running us in
Gotcha.
circles occasionally into walls.
Gotcha. You're the legs.
Yeah, you are the
Understood.
person who starts the yeah, that makes sense with your obsession with footsteps sound effects.
Why did you have to phrase it like that?
He said footstep sound effects. Listen, he only paused on foot for half a second. It's fine.
Oh no, I made it weird.
I paused? Oh, sorry. Freudian slip, probably.
Barely. Alex just overreacted. The truth has come out. But yeah.
Hi, I'm Alex, and I'm normal without feet.
But lots of people when they're first starting out with an idea for a podcast, we would recommend find a couple of like-minded friends who also want to commit to something deeply involved and potentially backbreaking, but really fun at the same time. We also have here, if you've seen Englewood, you know that we have for season 1. This is the original like sketch that we had done up by our artist Tahoe 51 for our thumbnail. So this is some deep lore here. And this is also a proof on the other side of the fact that Dennis cannot spell.
I resemble that remark.
I thought you might. But yeah,
You're an alpha mod, you don't need to spell.
Shut up.
once you
Go back to your
have
feet.
an idea,
There you go.
once you have an idea, this is why I'm the head. Once you have an idea, you need someone to kind of be in charge, and that ended up being me. Ish, in the sense that we are co-creators, but I'm the producer, so I wrangle them and get them to do things, like Dennis said. So that's my specific calling, shall we say? um, but yeah, which my brain is broken. So yeah, so now that you have an idea, probably next up, well, at least for us, next up was writing. So when it came to writing for us, we kind of built off of the thing that I'd been using for a little while, which was Blake Snyder's Save the Cat beat sheet. We don't just use this, but this is our tool for mapping out our seasons and mapping out our episodes. And so nowadays we trade off. Dennis will write an episode, then I'll write an episode, then Dennis will write an episode, then I'll write an episode, back and forth like that. And then we'll edit each other's episodes. In the beginning, we did some co-writing in like the same Google Doc to get a good idea of like the tone and how everyone should sound, and that was a lot of fun and developed and ended with us having a really good idea of like who our characters were. I fear this.
You fear.
I feel. Yeah. Dennis, you wanna say some stuff?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that initial phase of so like the very first episode, we were like all in a group chat together, and we were all trading off writing every few pages. And I do think that initial step is so important. Because when you have three people coming together to write one story, you really need to make sure that all of your authors' voices sound the same when you're writing together. So like taking an episode of two just to do it all in the same room, it definitely takes a lot slower. So I would not recommend doing that for the long haul. Like Hannah said, she and I at this point basically trade off writing episodes. But in terms of getting everybody synced and on the same page and writing in the same style, that is probably one of the most important early steps, so that you are narratively and tonally consistent.
Mm. Also, in the very beginning, Alex was writing with us, but as Alex became a sound design cryptid and also started writing some truly insane lines in the
I
script,
was speaking from the heart.
yeah, you really were, my love. Just we decided that for Alex's sake and his sanity, he should have one job, and his job is he audio. That is the Alex job. Alex do audio.
Whee.
But yeah,
And you do it
once
real
we
good, buddy.
have a good first draft, we will then go back in and do developmental edits, which for us normally take about a month or so. Where we just go back through and we're like, okay, so what B plots did we fully abandon? Where are we? What happened to this character? They stopped existing 3/4 of the way through the show. Where did they go? Are they okay? Do we need to go get them? And various other things. And then copy editing was the very last thing that we do. And it's not as big of a priority in certain regards. It's mostly just me going back through and finding all of the places that Dennis didn't use a question mark, even though it's clearly a question. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. Uh, also, also the longer that you write together collaboratively, the more you'll kind of fall into certain roles. So by now, Hannah and I have fallen into she is uh, she has been writing for much longer than me, so basically she is very, very good at generating story. Just like she has the outline in her head down, she knows how the beats of a story should go, and she will be the one generating the rough outline and how the first draft is going to look. Meanwhile, I am very, very good at finding holes in the story or finding things that we've missed or ideas that we've lost that we want in there but just forgot about and just saying what about this, what about this, hey, we forgot about this. And I think that it's rather than all trying to do the same kind of thing at the same time, I think falling into those kinds of roles is also very important for just work cohesion. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Up next, a different thing. Ah, yes, casting calls. So once we had everything written, we were on to casting call. This is a picture of our casting call for season 2 specifically. Because I enjoyed the pretty layout that I did, and I wanted to just show a little sample of like what we do for a casting call. We are so blessed with the amount of voice actors that are so cool and decided to work with us. We were very convinced in the early stages that nobody would want to work with us, and then we were like, and then I found Casting Call Club and I auditioned for the Midnight Pals podcast. And I actually got the role, which was crazy at the time because I was just like just freaking out. But doing that, I realized, oh, there's actually like a network of voice actors all over the place who will, commit their time and are really cool people with some amazing talent, and they will help you to get your thing made. And it's so wild. I guess because, the space is very collaborative and we've got a lot of like, everybody's working for free. In some regard. There's the joke that the audio drama community passes around the same $20 for every fundraiser. It's just our $20. Um, but yeah, we cast some amazing people. We had a very large cast for season 1, hey? But after that,
Oh yeah.
we still have a large cast for season 2, but not as large. We cut back. We realized we had too many cats in this workshop. But one of the things I would recommend if you are thinking of writing a casting call is you should try putting it in as many places as you physically can. And to like reiterate that you are casting because people don't spend their entire day on social media, well, most of the time. So they'll miss it. Like people will miss things. Social media posts are great. There's Discord servers like the Podcast Book Club, for example, but there are a bunch of other voice acting servers. And the biggest place for if you're starting out and you don't know anyone in the community yet would be Casting Call Club, I believe, because there's just so many people on there. It collects from all kinds, like voice actors know to go there to find roles, and you can find people who might be doing voice acting for the first time, but they're still so talented and deserve to be cast in whatever you're doing, and they're the perfect person for you, and it's all going to be great. So yeah, I would recommend all of those places, and just sort of shouting it from the rooftops that you would like that you would like help, and you need people to work with you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anything
absolutely.
I missed?
Uh, yeah, no, and so I do remember like the early days when we were convinced that you, me, Alex, uh, Chris, and Mars were gonna voice every single character very early on, and we would just put on different voices. Um,
Uh,
you don't need to do that. There are people who want to be a part. Their voice actors were generally just want to. Voice acting is fun, so voice actors will want to be as a part of as many things as possible. Definitely cast a wide net with all the different avenues that you can. Um, But if you are at all concerned, kind of a writing and casting tip at the same time, while we had a big cast for our first season here, I would definitely recommend starting with maybe a smaller story with a smaller cast if you are at all concerned about the kind of talent you're getting. But speaking from our experience, it's not a thing you need to worry about too much. But yeah, just if you're having anxiety about asking strangers on the internet for help, which don't, because this community is amazing. Uh,
And it was around about this time when we had our first recorded lines, and I believe they were the first recorded lines we got were from Brittany Finlay Hayes, who was playing Angela DeLuca in season 1, and she did such a good job, and we sort of had them in front of us, and we were like, "Holy crap, I
I was
actually
like,
don't
we
know if
can
we're
get
allowed to
this
swear."
caliber of
Wait.
actor. We can get this caliber. What? They're just floating
Yeah.
around out there?
Yeah, for sure. And that's why that is on the slide, which is the worst thing we can do now is stop. Like, we have this amazing performance and it needs to be seen. The worst thing we can do now is to stop.
Hmm.
Not sunk cost, but whatever the opposite of that is. Rising price. What? No, that's stupid. Hang on. Next! Ah, yes! So after this point, you're basically beginning production. Deadlines, as evidence here, can be your angle or your devil. But you need to give yourself them, and you need to sort of hold yourself to accountability as you go through. Obviously, things get in the way, but having deadlines, scheduling, weekly check-ins, spreadsheets, those are all very helpful tools to make sure that you're on the same page as your actors, who are on the same page as your sound designer, who's on the same page as your writer, who's on the same page as your everybody, right? Being transparent about what's going on as best you can, but not overburdening everyone involved with like a bajillion Discord notifications. We set up a Discord server that is a separate to our community server that is just for our actors, where all of that stuff goes on. And we also put together a big old Bible, which has basically our actors are spoiled. They have all of the information. They know exactly what's going to happen in season 2. They have access to a plethora of information, and we trust them to not just immediately spoil the entirety of the show, because that would be silly and we'd be sad. And so I think they'd be sad too. Um, but having all of this stuff to help you as the producer to know what's up. You can't keep it all in your head, at least not if you have any sizable amount of cast to juggle and any sizable amount of crew either to juggle. There's a lot of stuff to do. Um, and as we've discovered, we have the perfect ADHD triforce of
Yes.
nonsense where I can do deadlines, scheduling, weekly check-ins, spreadsheets. I can do all of that provided somebody is waiting for me to do that. If I feel like I have to do it for somebody, I will do it. And then for the guys,
Yeah. We
Mm.
if so we can do what needs to be done, but it's a lot easier for us to get things done when somebody tells us what we're supposed to be doing. Uh, so having Hannah in that role to dictate what's going to happen, what the deadlines are, just give us the structure to play in, and we will play in it, kind of deal.
yeah. Every now and then, they'll be in a different voice call with me, not to do with work, and I will suddenly say things like, "How many months is 7 months before September?" And then everyone will go, "What?" And I'll go, "No, what month is 7 months before September?" And then everyone will try to do reverse math, and it'll get really bad, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm plotting things!
Yeah.
My spreadsheets!"
That's another thing to keep in mind when with deadlines and scheduling, especially when you're first starting out. Give yourself more time than you think you need. Um, give yourself that leeway because one, things go wrong all the time. Like especially if you have a lot of moving parts with writers and production team and sound designers and voice actors. Somebody's gonna miss a deadline somewhere. So it's important that you give yourself more time than you think you need, so that if something does go wrong, you can correct it. And also, um, you especially when you're first starting out, you might have the tendency to underestimate how much you need to do within the time limit that you set yourself. So if it seems like a lot of time that you're giving yourself, it's probably not. So just be sure to space things out as needed.
Yeah, for sure. Build in that lead time, because
Hmm.
things will go wrong. Directing's up next.
Yay, it's my
If we're not
slide.
allowed to swear, we're really sorry. I'm gonna censor it. There you go.
Don't be a beep. Directing. It's not being a jerk, it's being responsible. This is a thing that you're going to have to get over, especially if you are shy or if you are anxious about giving directions to people who either you aren't paying or are volunteering to help or are working on your passion project for you. um you you need to find the perfect balance when talking with your voice actors of being reasonable and understanding that they are people with their own lives who have things going on and sometimes things happen, but sometimes you need to be able to put your foot down. While 99.9% of the voice actors that we have are perfect and great and awesome, sometimes every now and then you will run into somebody who misses deadlines. There's not any particularly good reason for it, and you have to track down multiple times. And you need to be an accurate judge of when you need to be firm with somebody, and also in extreme cases when you need to cut them loose. I believe it's only happened once on our end. But just because they're just because just because they're working for free or cheap does not mean that you are beholden to them in that way. It's not something you'll have to do often. The vast majority of the audio drama community are very professional when it comes to deadlines, and are very good about taking direction. But you, in the director slot, you do have to get over the fear of speaking firmly and professionally with someone, definitely. Um,
Mm.
and once you find that balance, next step, deciding between synchronous and asynchronous recording. So obviously, there's a lot of factors that go into that kind of thing. The more people that you have in your cast, the more synchronous recording becomes difficult. I know even for big casts, sometimes you can do synchronous recording for just like your main leads or a specific scene with only a couple of people in it. But generally, we have always worked with asynchronous recording, and in fact, I don't think it ever really occurred to us to do synchronous recording when we were starting out. We always just had people turn in their voice lines and then stitching them together.
Sync-
And sorry, what were you saying?
I was just gonna say, synchronous recording takes longer because you have to find specific times where everyone is free, and if you're
Yes.
working across multiple time zones, it'll take a while.
Absolutely. And generally, I think there's a lot of people that fear that with asynchronous recording that actors' deliveries will not line up in the right way, and it'll maybe sound a little bit unnatural. Speaking from the large experience that we have now after our first season, that very rarely happens. If you ask we ask our actors to give 3 takes generally of each line, and to make sure that each take is different enough that that we can use one of them no matter how the deliveries pan out. And we very rarely need to go back and talk to somebody and say, "Hey, this didn't work out. This line didn't work out the way that you thought it did. So here's some more description." In the case that you do, make sure that you have proper direction to give them about the scene, about their character, and what it is you are looking for. Be descriptive, uh, and usually on that retake, they will most likely understand what you're doing, what you're going for, as long as you give them the accurate direction. for the scene. But again, it's asynchronous recording works just fine, even if nobody is in the same room. And then, of course, when dealing with voice lines, uh, make sure you listen to your voice lines whenever somebody turns it in, like as soon as you're able to when they turn it in, because if you do need retakes, you don't want to be asking for retakes when you're in the middle of editing the episode because you have forgotten to check a voice line. We have definitely made that mistake, and it is resulted in one of those deadline mistakes I mentioned earlier. Anyways, I think that covers it.
Cool. Yeah. What's up next? I forgot my own spell. Oh, it's time for the main event.
It's
So, welcome
Fast
to
in
a
this image.
screenshot from so early on in our editing process when Dennis, Alex, and I were all editing together. And we were editing in Audacity at the time. And if you have a little look at that screenshot right there, guys, you might be looking at it and thinking, wait, how big is 74 million kilobytes? Well, I'm here to translate that for you. That's 74 gigabytes. No, Dennis did not know this. Which is why the question became, how big is the file? Because he was trying to upload it. And then he sends me that screenshot, and literally seconds later, I called him. I was like, what have you done? How has this happened? What's going on? And this right here is a case in fact that we don't do sound design anymore, do we, Dennis? We
No,
do the
we
rough
do
edit
not.
of like dialogue lines, but we do not do sound design. We leave that to Alex.
Hi, I'm Alex. I do sound design, and it's hell, as you can see. So early sound design for Englewood After Dark was very emblematic of everything else we all kind of dabbled in a wee bit, and I was actually the main person in charge of our first episode, and Hannah called me after I sent it to her to tell me to get good. No, she didn't. She was very kind about it, but I really went through that script and I sure did put a single sound effect onto that project for every sound cue it requested. Yep, this has been fulfilled. Moving on to the next one. I was terrible. I was so terrible that I committed to an entire redemption. It's a whole thing. So, Audacity is a creature. Audacity has a lot of uses, but I kindly beg you, if you're really going to put a lot of time into sound design, please look into something else. Now, we did, I want to say, the first 4 episodes in Audacity.
Yeah.
And I feel like that screenshot was probably around episode 4-ish. And that was the point where we started realizing maybe there was a small problem. And by small, I mean about 74 gigabytes small. So we ended up using Reaper. Hannah said, hey, let's use Reaper. We said, yeah, okay. Reaper is scary. Like, using Reaper felt like my first day walking into an office job wearing sandals and shorts. I felt out of place. It's easier than it looks, though, so I'm gonna shill for Reaper briefly, because I love Reaper to bits. We ended up going back and remaking the first 4 episodes in Reaper, because it was easier to remake everything, rather than go back and make tweaks. Reaper is grand. But Reaper also, that process of learning Reaper kind of informed like everything else going forward, right? Because I reckon the most important thing in sound design is you got to make it easy on yourself, you know? Because if you make something easy, it means you can put more time into doing the fun stuff, the interesting stuff, the complex stuff. So I advocate for being lazy and creating templates, right? I've got like a 50-line template I currently use for absolutely everything before we even put any lines into it. Because that way I can just drag and drop everything into place. That way, whenever I open a file, it feels like I've already done lots of stuff. I'm cheating my brain. It's super cool. And basically all of season 1 was like step by step adding new things I would do in advance to make things easier for future me, right? Because I have trouble doing stuff. I have trouble getting started on things. And I've really got to minimize the amount of friction in front of me. And that's well, you can see down here, you can literally never have enough CC0 samples. One thing we started doing in, I want to say, a third of the way through season 1, I would open the script in advance, right? Before even like starting the project. And I would just make notes on what kind of sounds I need for things. I would download like 6 sound effects from freesound.org. I love freesound.org. I will always chill for freesound.org. And I would just grab more than I need. I would dump them in a folder, and then I'd work out which ones I need later. CC0 samples, you can just chuck them into your project without thinking about it too much. You can put them in there with no friction and just play around. Because it's a lot easier to play around with something and experiment than try and make it all up on the fly. Which led into what I affectionately call the door room, which is that came into being, I want to say, 2/3 of the way through season 1. Because season 1 gets real spicy toward the latter half. Like, there's, in the first half, a lot of people sitting at a table and talking, and then there's a lot. It did change things. So, a door room is a room for my doors. It's where I keep them. Whenever I need a door, I go into my door room and I get one. One of the traps I fell into early on was I would always try and find the perfect sound effect for anything in the script. I would need something that matched, right? But I sort of realized after a time, it's better to just get little pieces that sound alright and kind of smush them all together. The trouble is, I would make a really great sitting down and chair effect for one episode, and then later I would realize I have no idea how I did that. So this started by, I would have like the last 10 episodes open and I would just steal old effects I used in the old episodes and pull them through. And after a while I realized, why don't I just put all of these somewhere? Why don't I just take all of my doors and have a room for them to go and get them? So I ended up basically creating an entire project, and then about like 8 different projects where I just have pre-built, pre-layered sounds, right? I've got like a file called doors, and it's just door sounds. It's modern door sounds, creaky door sounds, chunky door sounds, and each of these is like 6 items all stacked up in the right order in the right place with special effects and everything put on them. And whenever I need someone to go through a door, I just grab one of these and I chuck them in whatever I'm working on. And that's honestly maybe one of the biggest efficiencies I've ever had. Basically, if you make like anything cool when you're doing audio editing, sound design, just grab that and put it somewhere. Just put it somewhere for later, because you will want to use it. Can we swoop? Oh, hang on, I've got the wrong thing open. Which one are we on? Ah, yes, we're on this one.
Still
Brilliant.
hell.
Still hell. As you can see, we have normal conversations about sound design, and I do not threaten my friends when I see the scripts. I do not have strong opinions about how many cups of coffee someone needs to make in an episode. This is not a conversation that has been had. Getting really into sound design in a real pretentious way, I became a bit of a stickler for realism. And I want to share the lesson I learned from that, which is realism is for people with eyes. We don't do that here. Realism sucks. I once spent like a whole day like trying to put together this tool using like everything I learned in, year 13 calculus to calculate the exact amount of panning I needed to put on a given character in a scene so I could properly conjure the vision I have in my mind. And once I had it mostly done and tested it, I realized, oh, this sucks. And I threw it out. One of the hardest lessons which we had to learn was enhanced realism is far more interesting than realism. That's just the way the ear works, right? Realism only works when we have eyes to see something in front of us, but the ear, it doesn't quite work like that. For instance, I want to say it was actually in not episode 2, season 2. One of the things I really locked in on was the ear processes movement a lot. They'll always notice movement before it works out where the movement ends. So I spent a lot of time in season 1 trying to make these like fiddly little movements, panning from left to right and back and forth, before realizing, oh, I could just swing these things everywhere. They're not going to notice. This is fine.
I think for
No.
me, the
Mhm.
funniest conversation that I ever had with you about realism is when you were trying to bury someone alive and you were like, "But that won't sound like that." And I'm like, "Alex, it's not real."
The
Like, it
people
doesn't
who have been buried
sound
alive
to
are
me
going
as
to
if it's
call me out
nope,
for my
nope,
unrealistic
no, they're
thought.
not.
They're going to file complaints. They're gonna be upset. Yeah, because honestly, realism kind of sucks. If you really leaned into realism, like I tried to in season 1 at certain points, in some scenes they get very messy, very muddy, right? Because sometimes less is more. You've got to accentuate the important things, you've got to highlight, the really impactful stuff. And that took me a long time to learn personally, which is why realism is for people with eyes, and we don't do that here. But one of the final things I learned, and this actually came from season 1 in particular, because in season 1, I made the brilliant decision of, hey, what all of these scenes where people are moving around, what if everything was portrayed from like a first person perspective? So when this character turns 3 degrees to the left, the entire world rotates right around them to give that illusion. And it turns out that's actually what they do. Uh, and the solution to this very messy problem was colourful lines and the proper manipulation thereof. This is going to be an unfortunately simple but also very stupidly complex piece of advice, but use Reaper, use, a digital audio workshop that isn't Audacity, and learn how envelopes work. It's like attaching little threads to every part of your project, and you're kind of like puppeting them through the way. And it's very rebellious and rambunctious, and it can be very awkward sometimes. But there are some things that will just take you forever if you try to manually adjust them every single time for every single episode. The moral here is spend a lot of time working out how your tools work in advance, and it'll save you tenfold hours in the future. It'll make things so much easier on yourself. And of course, I am an advocate for randomizing the color on all of your tracks to make them a rainbow pattern, because this sparks joy, and sometimes you need that when you're in the audio mines.
Gotcha. Oh, up
Live.
next, live or perish, or live, depending on how
Oh
you
no,
feel.
I've been perceived.
Yeah. So at this point, around this point, we got live. We became live, and by that, what I mean was that I randomly one day saw a tweet somehow from Finch, I think. The reason I say it like this is because I saw it in a split second and it was gone, and it was like podcast book club pod jam, and I was like, that sounds interesting, like what are we up to? So I like reverse engineered, because like I think I was on Twitter back when it was still Twitter, and I like refreshed the page, and it refreshed itself and it was gone, and I was like, ah. And then we hunted it down, we found out about the podcast book club. Hi everybody. Now we're here. And we joined the pod jam, the first, or maybe the first, I think it was the first, the 2024 pod jam. And that's when we got perceived for the first time. It's also when Alex went on his redemption arc and became good at sound design. It's also
I
when
spent a
over
lot
that
of
course
time
of,
not doing work and learning to audio design before that. Don't tell
in
my boss I
those
said that.
48 hours, in the in the 48 hours of that pod jam, Dennis disappeared. We don't know what happened to Dennis. We lost him. He
I don't
recorded
even
his
remember
lines
what
and
happened.
then we never saw him again. I had a 39.8-degree fever, which is like 100 and something for the Americans in the audience, and Alex stayed awake for 48 hours straight. And you know what we got out of that? It was something really cool that people really seemed to enjoy. An episode of the podcast that was like low stakes, and it wasn't part of the main story, but it did give us the ability to like get people to see what we were creating and get them to see and get us used to being seen. Hence Alex's I feel perceived here, right? Like and once again, if we're not allowed to swear, I do apologize. But
It's a bit too late. Uh,
yeah, it's a
Way
little
too
too late,
late.
but it's okay. But yeah, that was us getting there, and then we ended up here. We hit 100,000 downloads recently, I think at the beginning of this year. We have we're on our second season. Things are going well for us, and to be honest, we didn't think that this was going to happen. Like, we were hopeful, but we were not expecting to suddenly end up with something that, you know, has been witnessed by a bunch of people. But it's still very exciting, and we are very, very happy for everyone who enjoyed season one. We are very sorry to everyone who got to the end of season one and went, wait, I have to wait how long to find out what happens here? The answer is you have to wait until season 4. We are sorry. Listen, all of the seasons stack onto each other's shoulders, and then season 4 answers all the questions, okay? Okay, great. Sorry about that, everybody. Just lock in, okay? Just join us. But yes, so some advice we have about this specific phase of being live is pretty much make sure people can read more about your podcast, you opaque nerds. I'm sorry I called you nerds, but we're also nerds. It's okay. Um, we the reason I say this is because for lots of people who might want to listen to your audio drama, there are a couple of different ways they'll probably come across it. One of them is word of mouth, where people in the podcast book club will recommend you to others. And then the other one is they find you in the wild somewhere. Now, if they find you in the wild somewhere and without somebody's recommendation, they're going to want to know, okay, what am I setting myself up for? And audio doesn't allow you to look at it, right? You can't look at it and understand what it is. You have to read about it some way, right? You can't there's no gifs, right? They're like we don't have a visual element to this, so it's very opaque, right? So I am a huge advocate for people to make sure that they create a press kit or a website or a link tree or a card or something that gives everyone the basics of your show. You should have a synopsis and a larger synopsis and the ability to contact you for like opportunities and to collab and like just a way for people to find out more about you that doesn't involve them listening, because there's a bigger barrier to entry when it comes to listening to something than there is to just reading about it. And if you can get them hooked on the tagline or on the little synopsis, then they might actually listen. Whereas if they can't find anything, they might go, I don't know what this is, and I have different things that I know what they are, and I want to go listen to those instead, right? So make sure you are as transparent as you can be about what your show is, and would always recommend giving someone a press kit or just having a press kit on your website. We have one on ours that just has our art, our 2 synopsises, our cast and who they are and how to find them, etc., etc. But yeah, just make sure that people can get at you somehow, right? Don't be so opaque that nobody knows what's going on unless they have listened to the entire thing. Is my advice. And yeah, sometimes I look at podcasts and I'm like, I wonder what this is like. I want to find out some more about it, and I physically can't, and I'm always sad. So yeah, start telling people what you do. It's important. Gotcha. Ah, yes. We know that there's going to be a full fundraising panel later on, or it already happened. I forget where we are in the time slots actually, but just a couple of things from us. We fundraised for season 2. Here's our brief smattering of pieces of advice. First one is be visible. No, more visible than that. Which means, once again, I'm reiterating the point that people do not sit on social media all day for the most part. They might not see you post about it. You might think, I posted about this so many billions of times, and people are like, I wonder what that podcast is doing, you know? Like, because they haven't seen it yet. So think about the fact that you should be posting about it as much as you can. The other thing is giving yourself a decent amount of time to raise it and to set yourself reasonable goals. But one of the most important things is ask people for stuff. The audio drama community is massive. There are bunches of talented people in here, and most of the time, they are more than happy to help you. They're more than happy to help you with feed swaps or trailer drops. They're more than happy to help you with like pieces of advice, or if you want to reach out and ask questions. People are incredibly friendly. I've had people reach out to me to ask stuff before. I have reached out to people and been like, "Hi, I don't know if you know who I am, but would you perchance like to do a thing with us?" And hence the shame I know thy name, because for some reason for me I just feel a lot of shame about that sort of stuff, but that's fine. And then the final thing we have here is no one really makes any money here, and that's okay. Because, like, it's not okay, but it is just like, just know that if you're struggling, it's not just you. Like, this is a medium which is queer, and it is, like, out there, and it is indie, and it is not well known. It's not you, it's just how we live here. The good thing about that is that everyone is very supportive of each other, and you can definitely find friends in the community, like through the podcast book club. Don't know why I said that like that. Okay. But yeah, don't worry so much about it. Like, don't go into audio drama thinking that you're going to make a lot of money, because 9 times out of 10 that's not the case, and that's fine, because what you will do is develop a lot of skills and also just hang out with some really cool people, and that's pretty cool in and of itself. Did I miss
And
anything?
I don't think so. I would say a combination of fundraising and your comment of be as visible as possible, you opaque nerds. Uh, Basically, as soon as you can, once you've decided and are committed to making an audio drama, especially if you're going to try and fundraise for your first season, get on social media as quickly as possible, even if you don't have anything of your own audio drama to share yet, because there's still plenty of ways to interact with the community. Listen to other people's shows, join Discord servers, talk to people, get on Blue Sky, do whatever you can to interact with with the community, make friends. Get followers. The sooner that you're able to start building your social media presence, especially for fundraising, the better. It's something that I wish we all started a little bit earlier, or at least I wish I started taking seriously a little bit earlier than we actually did.
Whee! Where are we now? Oh god, we have a 4 season spanning show and we have to do it now. So as you can tell by these insane numbers, we had a good old time on in 2025. There's a lot of up 9900%. I don't know how that works. I don't know. I think we broke Spotify anyway. Um, but yeah, we just finished season 1 of Englewood at the beginning of 2025. We launched season 2 of Englewood in October of 2025, and we are currently on a bi-weekly schedule. We used to be a weekly schedule, but Alex and I were going insane. The answer to that is because Alex is obviously our sound design cryptid, and I'm the one in charge of scheduling and posting. So between the two of us, we were going fully feral each week, weren't we, Alex? Just like,
And confirm,
what's
fully
happening?
feral.
We don't know. Um, so now we're doing bi-weekly, which is better for our mental health. It is sad for the little fangirl part of me that really wants to like for people to listen to our show faster. But on the whole, it is definitely better for us that we have slowed down a little bit. Englewood After Dark is, after all, at its heart a mystery, and sort of drawing it out a little bit is fine. I just like to have all of my cake at once, I guess. is my answer there. I just want it to all happen right at the same time.
Do you think that's because
Uh,
you read 4 times faster than a normal human being?
Fun fact about me, in case you're ever doing some kind of pub quiz. I read, I think, 4 times the speed of the average person, and no, I am not speed reading. That's just how fast my brain
And no, that
go
is
when
not
it
an
looks at word.
exaggeration. We've measured it.
Yeah, we
I've
measured
seen it
it.
happen in real time.
Um,
It's horrifying.
my tiny superpower is I read real fast. So maybe that's why. Maybe I'm just impatient. Um, I just want everything now. Um, but we are, like we said, we have a 4-season spanning show. That's it. We have 4 seasons. We're not gonna extend Englewood after 4 seasons. We might move on to a different project after a little bit of a hiatus and, like, a little bit of recuperation, because we did decide to do this the hardest possible way, hey, guys? We were
Oh,
like,
sure, we
"Hey,
sure
you know
did.
how an average audio drama season is, like, 6 to 10 episodes? Ours are 30 episodes long. Wow. Do you know how
Uh,
the audio drama has, like, maybe 10 voice actors? We have 30. Hey, guys, you know how the average audio drama doesn't release weekly? We have released every episode weekly. We did go insane, guys.
Yeah.
but
It
every
was
episode was over 30 minutes long.
we really did do it the hardest way first. And that's
Mm.
another piece of advice if you're considering starting out an audio drama. Maybe start small and build up. We really started tall and went,
Yeah.
what the hell are we
Mm.
But yeah, I think that's us for now. We have some helpful links. If you're wondering about making yourself a press kit, Atypical Artist has a really lovely resource for making that, which I definitely plagiarized heavily in making our own. Basically, I just was like, okay, what do I need? And they were like, here's all the things you need, and I was like, amazing. And Alex has included his links to his foot guy and his cloth guy, completely normal
I'm not
guys to
beating the
have.
allegations. Mm. Look, they're both very simple things to add to any audio drama, and they add a lot for minimal input, you know? Brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
Those are my guys.
Absolutely, for sure. We cannot believe, honestly, that Englewood is doing what it's doing. It's kind of crazy to me. Um,
Yeah, no.
this was it. This was me in the middle of the pandemic being like, hey guys, do you want to start a podcast? Not like that kind of podcast, though, like a narrative podcast. And they were like, interesting.
Yes.
And now,
Yeah.
6 years later, here we are.
Jesus.
It took us a
Oh my
long
god, it
time to
was
get
6 years
started, but
ago.
once we got started, we really started to just sort
Oh
of
god, 6
click.
years ago. Oh, that clicked. Oh
Sorry,
no.
guys.
Ow.
Yeah, we're old.
I need
Did
to
you know
lay
that?
down.
So you
Oh.
can't.
Ah, my
Also,
bones.
fun fact, this audio drama event is happening right when we would normally have our weekly meeting. So the instinct in my brain when that finished was to be like, so anyway, the things we have to do for this week are because it's just the mode that I'm in currently. I have deployed the mode. But yeah, that's us looking back on the things we wish we had known, the stuff we did and didn't do well, and basically our general vibe of Anchorwood in general. Look at it go. Whee! I still come back
Gee.
to this and just go, what the heck did you do, Audacity?
No, okay.
What is
So
that?
since we still have a couple of minutes, I know exactly what happened, and I'm going to try my best to describe it. So Audacity does this thing sometimes that when you take an audio track in its entirety and you cut off a little piece of it, it's not actually cutting off a little piece of it. It is making a copy of the entire audio track and shortening it down to just the part that you've cut off. But you are essentially copying and pasting the entire audio track for every single voice line for that character, and then doing that for every single character. And
I
that
think
is
the
how you
fun
end up with 74 gigabytes worth of sound.
Wave
I think
files
the
are big.
funniest part no, the funniest part about that is they only did it for you. Me and
I
Alex
don't
did
know why.
not
I don't know what
end
I
up with a
did.
file that was 74 gigs big, so this is like, okay, maybe that is what happened. Why did it only happen to you?
Oh no, I have the worst luck. I really do have the worst luck when it comes to
My
having
worst one
to
was that
redo
one.
things for stupid reasons.
Oh, dear. But yeah, thank you for joining us, everybody. Oh,
Yeah.
bye. MJ, bye. Um, have fun in the research mines. But yeah, if there are any questions for us or anything that anyone would like to say or say hi, we'll say hi back. But yeah, that's about it for us for now. We condensed this a lot. The first time we did a trial run, we were like an hour and a half. But this time I was like, we gotta go faster, guys. We gotta
Oh,
go faster.
we had
We're
to
gonna
cut so many
overspill.
anecdotes. I'm so upset.
Well, we have 6 minutes. What's an anecdote you would like to tell?
I don't know. Think like thinking is always a classic.
Hey, flip you. Have we already been swearing? Do we wanna start president now? Flip you.
Okay, so very early on, so I have known Alex for years out of our
I'm
own.
leaving and getting a drink.
Okay, bye, Alex.
Okay.
Alex and I have known each other since we were like 16. Uh, so
Mm.
the rest of the group, we basically Alex and I joined a D&D campaign and we became friends with the rest of our group later. But I know how Alex talks. I know his vernacular. And there was a scene that he wrote where he was describing an IBM ThinkPad laptop from the 90s. And when one of our characters repeated, wait, a ThinkPad? Finn Nightingale goes, think like thinking, cool like cool pad. But I don't think there was any punctuation there for starters.
No, there
And
was zero punctuation.
and
You
second of
want to
all,
lecture me about punctuation.
and second of all, uh Um, me knowing how Alex talks just casually, I was like, "Oh, he means that the thinking was think like." So it comes out think like thinking, cool like cool pad. What the fuck? Of just
No.
me reading
Stop
that
bullying me.
line with all the energy of Finn Nightingale in full in full swing. Um, think like thinking, cool like cool pad. What the fuck?
What?
I
No, you
think
didn't say what
Hannah
the fuck. You just went deadpan. What did I just read?
I think Hannah laughed for a full uninterrupted 5 minutes after that.
Yeah, I couldn't breathe, man. It was crazy.
God, I wish
That
we
was the
recorded
ti
those reads.
There was also the time that Alex was told to be subtly ominous,
Oh,
and
I'm
then
still
just
being
like,
bullied. I see.
yeah, you're still being bullied because the line that Alex wrote was, "Did you know that there are people who have never seen the face of God?"
No, I
Which is not subtly ominous.
as I sorry, no, so the full line is so the description like we were Eve needs to be subtly creepy in this scene, and I think the exact line was, "Do you know that most men, women, and children go throughout their entire lives without ever seeing the face of God?"
Yes,
Subtlety.
that was it.
I like that you took the time to memorize that, to bully
Yeah,
me
Dennis
in
memorized
biblically
that.
accurate detail.
It's truly
Thanks.
amazing.
Really, really appreciate it.
It's the details that make a
Uh,
story, man. You could bully me if you want. We have 2 more minutes. You got a bullying anecdote about me you'd like to share, Alex?
No, I already used the alpha mod line.
every time Dennis doesn't add 10 seconds of static
Oh my
silence at the beginning of his
god, I'm
takes, Alex
gonna.
does threaten to climb through the computer and kill him.
I've
That's one.
stopped doing that. You can't be mad at me. I'm better now.
I can be mad at you because I had to ask 7 times. I had to threaten you. I had to threaten making you redo lines.
Oh gosh. But
My room
uh,
tone doesn't
this
change. Just use one from another episode or something.
no,
Whatever.
Your
no,
room tone doesn't change?
no.
Your room tone
Oh
doesn't
no.
change?
Oh no.
I'm
Oh
leaving.
god. Uh-huh. Why would you say something like that?
See, and this is how you can tell that I've known Alex for a decade now. We over a decade now, where I know exactly how to
Dear
push his fucking
God.
buttons.
You
Uh,
too.
it's so much
This is
fun
why
and
I'm the
it's so
head
easy.
also.
Yep.
Well, I think that's it for us for now. It feels like we're closing out the hour. Um, Remember that you could always join us over at the Podcast Book Club server and hang out. We have many more lovely events scheduled for this weekend, including one that I'll be in because I'll be voice acting in like how many hours? In several hours. I don't know how to count, but in a number of hours I will be voice acting from the script that Anna and Emma made earlier today. And aside from that, you can also join the book club to go and check out the Artist Alley, and check out the wares, and just come and hang out and say hi to us. And yeah, we hope you enjoy. And remember, you could always check out Englewood. You know, you could always join us in the chaos and the conspiracy theories that abound about what the heck is happening in this mysterious town full of dead people. You know, you could.
Come be creepy with
Yeah,
us
I've been
in a
Hannah.
completely wholesome way.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've been Hannah. That's Dennis, and that was Alex. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for
Bye.
joining us.
Yeah.
Thank you.